guys, welcome back to the Yarnquisitions Podcast. I'm Celine, and I hope you guys have a beverage. I have Earl Grey with a splash of milk in it. And I usually use double bergamot Earl Grey because it's more floral and it just smells better. I don't know, and I feel like it's a little stronger, but that's just my perception. It could be the same strength, but I don't know. I just like it better. The double bergamot Earl Grey. So I'll start with what I'm wearing. It's the Sophie scarf. I made it so that I can wear it as a headband, but I can also wear it as a scarf. But it's very thin. It's 5 centimeters. 5 centimeters at the widest part in the middle, and it's 80 centimeters long. So I just did, so I counted the increases. I only did 12 increases, using like a 1-ply or a single ply finger weight yarn. And I guess, should I start with finished objects or should I start with try-ons? I'll just do the finished object first. So my only finished object for this week is another Sophie scarf. And for the increases, I did 35 because it wasn't wide enough, because I was making a large, and the width wasn't wide enough, because in the pattern it's 13 centimeters wide at the widest part. So I just kept increasing until I got there, and the increase rate is the same as the pattern. So if you follow the pattern, you get the increase rate. And yeah, so I did 35 increases so that I can get to 13 centimeters in the middle. Yeah, and I think it is also 100 centimeters long. So it's 50 centimeters on each side. So yeah, so that's good. And this used this one, the pink one is using Pro Soho line weight, and this one is using We Are Knitters finita yarn. But it's the same kind of yarn that I use for both. It's a single ply fingering weight yarn, so 3.5 millimeters, and the 3.5 millimeters is the same as in the pattern. So yeah, so I just suggest use any weight of yarn, but if you want the, what do you call, like the same dimensions, you just keep increasing until you hit the dimension, and somehow it's like the same length and width as the Sophie scarf. So that's interesting. And I think the Sophie scarf uses a light DK weight yarn. So yeah, so that will probably be much more squishy than this. This is definitely not as squishy as I had hoped it would be, but that's because it's a thinner yarn. So yeah, if you use a light DK or a DK weight yarn, you'll get that maximum squish factor, and you'll get the correct dimensions with the same increases as in the pattern. So yeah. Yeah, I highly modified both of my Sophie scarves, but you just gotta do what you gotta do when you don't use the right type of yarn for the project. And I used up one scrap ball of this yarn, and I broke into the single skein that I have left, but yeah, it's still mostly the single skein. I barely used any. I think around here, like I knit all of this, but I ran out of yarn right here, so all this is from a second ball. But that's because I was using scrap yarn. I don't know how much it actually took. So I don't know. You can like do it like this, or I think petiteknit has various ways you can tie it, you know, on her Instagram. And there's a whole bunch of other people as well that modeled the Sophie scarf, because it's so easy, you know, to knit, to make, and then to wear. There's so many different ways to wear it. Okay, so that's my finished object. And so today is my birthday, but yesterday to celebrate it, my boyfriend took me to a very nice restaurant, and I just want to show my outfit that I wore. So I wore a Sophie scarf. I wore this dress, which I got online from Korea, and I wore this over it because it was still kind of hot, like around 5 when we got there, but when we left at like 7:30, it was already like really chilly. So yeah, I had to bring a sweater of some kind or something warm. So I brought this because it was like still holey enough where I wouldn't like sweat in it, or at least I tried. But I'm having trouble freaking taking this out of this goddamn hanger. Okay, so I'll just show you what it looks like on. And thankfully I can put it on over my glasses, because sometimes I can't do that for certain fits of shirts and sweaters. Yeah, so this is what I wore. Very nice, right? It doesn't exactly match the dress or the scarf, but having a different tone for a sweater is like kind of nice. And after I came back, I was like, oh, I should have wore my other sweater, my other mohair sweater, which is, oh, and this is the To Be So Lonely sweater by Kerr, and this is the jules genser, and it perfectly matches this pink dress, so that's why I was like, I should have just freaking brought this. And because I have it on the hanger, it like really opened up the neckline to how it's supposed to be, or supposed to drape on the body. So I guess a quick hack, instead of blocking, you could just do this for the neckline, or the shoulder too. So let me take this off. And if you hear that crinkling, it's my cat and the paper that we got. You know, paper is like the cat's most favorite plaything. Yeah. Oh yeah, and the Sophie scarf makes my really bad bang cut like not seem as bad because it pushes down my hair a little bit. So it's not as short or puffy. Oh my gosh, he's just so crazy right now. He like freaking ran and jumped into the paper. So yeah, I'll just put this on to show you how it looks. I don't know why the cats are so crazy every time we film. It's so ridiculous. So high energy. Okay, and this is what it looks like. I can't move it any more back, so you're just gonna have to deal. Yeah. This looks really nice, right? And especially because it like gives more room for the neckline. So it looks less like choking. So it's more comfy looking, you know? So yeah. Definitely matches way more than the other sweater, but alas. It was actually quite chilly, like that the To Be So Lonely sweater was like barely enough to keep me warm because it was like kind of windy. But yeah, definitely useful in the summer. And these days, this past week has been quite chilly, and it's gonna rain tomorrow. So I'm like, wow, early rain. The rain is super early this year. And I also put this on the hanger. This is the cargill sweater by Rebecca from the .crebea knitting podcast. But yeah, so when I blocked it, this part I couldn't block at all because it would be like kind of weird. But after blocking and drying, I put it on this hanger and it really like opened up these stitches on the shoulder, on both sides, and on the back as well. So quick hack, I guess, if you put it on the hanger for a week, you can open those stitches up so it looks more, what do you call it? So it looks the same everywhere. Although I could have stretched the arms a little more. Should I try this on too? I have to take off my glasses for this. It's like, yeah, okay. If something goes wrong, we're just gonna have to deal. If my AirPods come out, hopefully it won't happen. Okay. got it all the way through. I think it'll look weird with this dress because the color is like not ideal, but looks good. It's a little tight in the shoulders probably because of this dress. So yeah. Gotta fix my hair. Just gotta peek at the screen. Okay, yeah, so it looks quite nice. Trying to get in frame. In the back, of course. Yeah, it's definitely not the best for this dress, especially the length. It's like, actually it's not that long, but it's a little too long. I actually don't have sweaters for dresses, but the two-piece Saloni sweater is cropped because the original is cropped, so that's probably the most suitable for this dress. But yeah, looks good. It's comfy. I do like the fit because it's like a tight-fitting sweater, and I think it's supposed to be. But yeah, definitely, like I said last episode too, I should block out the sleeves a little more so they are like more poofy looking. Yeah, but that's just my bad, honestly. But yeah, this is like a good in-between length. Like if I just wore jeans, I'm sure it'll cover most of my belly, if not all, because it ends where like my jeans usually start. So not that I wore jeans in like a year. I think I haven't worn jeans in a year, so but maybe I'll start wearing jeans when it gets colder. Yeah. Okay, oof. Oh, wait, gotta take off my glasses first and take this off because it's kind of hot. Even though it's 73 degrees. Oh god. Oh god, I got stuck. Okay. Struggle bus. Taking this off is real. Because the neckline is like kind of tight. Oh god. That was painful. And probably really painful to hear too, because it like rubbed up against the AirPods. So, my bad. Oof. But yeah, looks nice. Yeah, put my glasses on because I can't see anything. I mean, I can see stuff, but it's not clear. Oh, I should show you the swatches for my Drk Up Glow sweater. So I showed this one last time. It's the Ayyy Pearl by renee, and my gauge is 22.5 stitches per 4 inches, and the gauge for the pattern is 23. So I'm hoping that if it's looser, then there's some room for tightness, I guess, for the color work. Because I've never done color work or mykt knitting, so hopefully there's some leeway, you know, just in case I knit it really tightly. And then I made this one, which is also the same gauge. And yeah, this is gonna be 3 strands of Atari cashmere. It's 100% cashmere. But I just knit it with the mohair as like a substitute for the Atari, just because I had it already and I was gonna. It's like really difficult to separate the mohair and the cashmere strands. So yeah. Oh my gosh, my cats are just attacking each other now. They're like playing hide and seek. Attack. I don't know, something like that. And yeah, I'm just like dreading starting it because there's so many things I need to look up. And the ayyy pearl is 2 strands, and then I have leftovers of the fuzzy yarn, so I'm just gonna use this for like, oh my gosh, sorry, give me a second. Come on, Suzo, second. Okay. I'm gonna fight soon, so just a warning. Where was I? So this is the fuzzy yarn, and it's a very fine alpaca with tweed, donegal, and wool. It's yeah, that kind of blend. And the strand is like a fingering weight yarn. Like the solid strand is the core is the fingering weight yarn, and then the alpaca is like all the white stuff. So it's like very soft against the skin and not scratchy at all. And this is my contrast color, or at least I think it's color D in the pattern. But it's also color B, the cashmere strand, so yeah, it's color B. And I thought I could get away with just using 1 strand, but I couldn't get the gauge, so I used 2. So yeah. So it's much denser than the other 2 swatches, but I mean, if I can't get gauge, I can't get gauge. So yeah. But yeah. What was I gonna say about this? So yeah, this is, I'm using this as, because I have like 4 different colors. I'm using it as yarn B and yarn B. And for yarn B, I'm using the color lead. Or not lead, this is lead. Okay, it's denim. And then for color D, I'm gonna use all 4 of the colors I have because why not? And in the pattern, it uses like it uses spin cycle yarns, and if you know anything about spin cycle yarns, you know that it's like multicolored and like fractal gradient kind of yarn. So it changes color throughout the yarn. So yeah, I'm trying to mimic that a little bit, but also only want the center to be like the two blue colors, which is this color and the denim color, which is the lighter blue. Yeah, and then on the sides it would be green and yellow, so it'd be like a grass color, I guess. Yeah, so like a river in the middle and then grass on the side, you know, that kind of thing. But I don't know what to do on the arms, so I gotta think about it a little bit. Unless I do like the two blue in the middle that runs down the arm, that would be kind of interesting. But I have more of the blue than the green and yellow, so I don't know. But because I have to like triple or double strand everything, it's gonna eat up a lot of yarn, but that's fine by me because I have so much yarn. I'm trying to get rid of the fuzzy yarn, okay? Like, and then I'm probably gonna pick out all the tweed because I kind of I'm just not into it anymore. Or at least I'm not into the tweediness of this yarn. Yeah, but I don't know how hard that would be to take out all the tweed. But only on the outside, because that's the shit that shows. But on the inside, I'm just gonna leave it because it adds softness. The tweed adds softness to the thing. But if it falls out, it falls out. Like I'm not too concerned about that. But I'll probably have to cut the tweed out as I knit it, or maybe I just do it all at the end because then I could just do that. It'll be easier to do instead of doing it throughout, because then whatever. Yeah. So I guess I got that sorted out. Still waiting for yarn, but I have one acquisition. But I'll go through the whips first. So my first whip that I'm going to show you is the Sporty Knit Skort, and I totally forgot that my row gauge is there's more stitches in it, in the row gauges, or in the row, or there's more rows than the gauge in the pattern. So because of that, I didn't really notice it in the skirt part because you just measure, you knit and then you measure from the front. So row gauge is like kind of whatever on the skirt part, but for the short part, that's when it really matters. And I had to ask for the length of the shorts between the split, before the split, like the measurement from below the waistband to this splitting for legs. I almost said sleeves, but yeah, I split for legs. And I don't know how much I'm off by. Let me. Oh, my nesting tables are stuck. Oof. measure it real quick. Oh shit, is this the front? Sorry, just gotta do a little. Okay, this is the front. Let's see. I feel like, yeah, I'm like freaking 5 centimeters off. Or more. 5 to 6 centimeters off. So I'll just have to knit some more and maybe increase some more as well. Because my stitch gauge is also off by like 1. But because this is pre-washing, it's even worse. It's like 26, 28 stitch gauge. But after I block it, it's gonna be 24. So a little dilemma here, like, but this is just my bad because even though the pattern says you can use a sport weight, and I'm doubling 4-ply, so I would highly encourage like DK weight or like a DK weight yarn instead of a sport weight, because it relies heavily on blocking, and because I'm making this out of merino wool, I know that every time I wash it, it's gonna go back to its original thing. So yeah, I just don't want the shorts to be too tight because then I can't put it where I want it, because I want it to be a high-waisted skirt basically. And yeah, don't double 4-ply, double fingering, okay? This is my mistake. But doubling 4-ply technically is a DK, but it's like really iffy, I guess. And it blooms, this yarn blooms a lot, but almost not enough. So yeah, I just have to knit some more. Like, it's taking forever because I have more rows than everyone else. Even though I didn't rip all the way back. But yeah, I have yarn coming for a second version of the skirt, but I'm only gonna knit the skirt part because I don't really give a fuck about the shorts, because it's kind of thick, and I don't need it because I don't live in a place that snows. So yeah, but if you live in a place that snows, I highly recommend knitting the shorts as well because it's gonna be doubly warm, and yeah, why not if you live in a very cold place. And the Sporty Knit Skort is handmade by Florence, so she has a channel here, you can watch her videos, and it's way more aesthetic than my videos. Let's be real. Maybe my videos are too real because I don't edit. Let me fix my hair because I just saw that it was like nasty. And my second whip, I think I showed you last time, but it was like nothing. So I've got one side of the front done. Let me show you. So yeah, it's curling in on itself because it's just stockinette, the whole thing. So yeah, and I haven't knit the other side yet because I've been knitting on the shorts of the skort. So yeah, but yeah, and I haven't worked the back at all. So, and this is like 10 centimeters ish, so that when I try it on to determine the length of the strap, it'll cover up down to here, which is below my bust, and yeah, it'll be easier to try on for sure. So I can see how it looks like. And yeah, love this nice blue color by Knitting for Olive. I don't know, their colors just get me every time, like their pinks, the blues, but the ice blue is a new color, so I don't want it in the merino because I have yet to try the merino, and it's like their cheapest thing on their website. I'm like, why don't I try that? Like, what's wrong with me? Yeah, so, but drops is cheaper, but then also drops don't have the colors I like in merino fingering weight. I don't know, I have a habit of making a lot of fingering weight projects, and it's easy to just double it up for a DK weight. So yeah, I think that's my problem right now, because I think I only have like 2 yarns that are DK weights, and one of them is from Colourmart, and it's actually a fingering, let me start over. It's actually a fingering weight yarn, and the other one is in linen, and it's not a merino or any other type of wool. And I still have leftovers from my champagne cardigan. I still have 2 balls of the DK, but it's not enough to make the sporty knit skort, because I think you need 4 for just the skirt part, the waistband and the skirt part. You need 4 at least, because the pattern tells you that you need 8 total for the smallest size, or for like the 2 smallest size at least you need 8. So it's like a hefty project. It's like sweater quantity, like, yeah, just because there's 2 layers. But yeah, so that's, did I say this is the June Top Light, and it's by petiteknit, and yeah, her tutorials, or the person who does her tutorials, is really good. Kimmy Morcom, I think her name is. I feel like I'm always butchering her name every time. And yeah, so I have the petiteknit, what do you call it, bag. So I'll just open it. I can't show you the front because it has my personal information on it. So you just have to deal with the back. And it's kind of funny. She always has like a picture, and then the petiteknit it's not a badge. What's it called? Label. I have another, but I just don't use them. And it also has my, yes, it has the invoice as well. And I got the little knitter's bag. Can I undo this? Yes, okay. Just a little piece of string. Oh, it's much smaller than I thought. Oh, but it's really wide. Yeah, it is much smaller than I thought, but I think it was like, it's like 11 inches by 13. Yeah, it's like a little over 11 inches wide and a little over 13 inches long. So yeah, and I wondered if oh, they didn't tie this. Interesting. But yeah, I bought this because I noticed that the drawstring part was quite different from most people's drawstring. Because usually they would have 2 openings on the side, and then they would have 2 drawstrings, and then you can close it from both sides. But it only has it on one side, so I just wanted to see like how I like it, or if I hate it, or whatever, you know. I just want to know if I prefer this over just the 2 drawstring thing. I mean, it definitely works, but just like, how are you supposed to, do you just knot it like regular? And I just did like the bow tie, like how I do my shoelaces, because it like doesn't matter, but it's definitely like the hole is definitely still there. Maybe I just didn't do it tight enough. I'm kind of confused because that says almost as tight as I can get it. Because all the scrunching, the scrunched fabric is has a limit, right? So yeah, it's definitely like a little hole in the middle. So it's definitely not like insect proof, but I don't think it was supposed to be. But yeah, it's definitely like a smaller bag. So if you have a smaller project, like a Sophie scarf, or like a hat, or mittens, or socks, I think this would be a good project, or the start of a sweater. If you're still on the yoke, I think this would be a good one for that. Or for the jute top, yeah, I can put this in there. Let me see if I can shove this sweater in there to like see its capacity. But what I'm concerned about the most is that because the ends don't have like a knot on it, which I mean I could just put a knot, I could just knot it myself. I would be concerned that it would like slip through and you get lost in the fabric. But yeah, it definitely can comfortably fit a whole sweater. So I guess if you're going somewhere, you could just bring this as your little baggie, and you can knot it here at the end. So you can have it as like a little bag and put it on your arm if you want. But for a full sweater, I don't think I would use it for a sweater project because I think the needles would just poke out, honestly, because it's a very thin fabric. Yeah. But yeah, it is easy to tie up the what's this, like the string? It's not really string, it's just like folded over cotton, kind of like bias tape a little bit, like self-made bias tape. But yeah, I think I'm just gonna knot each end. But at least my cats are not so crazy right now. They're both sleeping, finally. But the knot's not that huge, so we'll see how I get on with this. Because the other bag I have from Typical Bliss is much more heavy duty than this bag, and it's bigger as well, so yeah. But at least when you stretch all the way, it doesn't really go in at all, so it'll always be out, hopefully, you know. And it's cotton, so you can just throw it in the wash on cold. And don't put it in the dryer, obviously, because it is a cotton and it does have the ability to shrink if you put it in the dryer. Because when you put cotton in the dryer, it shrinks by 5 to 10%, or 3 to 10%. It just depends on the cotton. But yeah, if you don't mind that, then put it in the dryer. I would definitely put it on low, but medium is fine too. Because I put all my cotton things in the wash on medium and then in the dryer on medium as well, so it should be fine. So yeah, you definitely could get this dirty and be fine, or you can just wash it. Although that would be kind of annoying to do if you have a project in it, because then you have to take it out and put it in a wash. So yeah. But it is, I don't know. Am I talking too much about this? It's like a nice off-white color. So I kind of like that. And even the patch is off-white. So, yeah. How long did it take? Maybe like a week or so. I ordered this beginning of September, so probably like 2 weeks to get here. Probably because customs is slow. So yeah, can't do much about that, but oh yeah, and I totally forgot to say that the JC Rennie cones, it was like 50 pounds, so about like $55 or $60 in shipping. But even though it's so expensive, it kind of makes up for how much yarn you're getting, because it's a ridiculous amount for like one sweater quantity. You get like 3 to 4 sweater quantity of yarn. So yeah, definitely evens out. And it came in like 3 days, so it's like 2-day shipping from DHL, and it didn't get stuck in customs for some reason. So yeah, definitely worth the shipping cost if you want it really fast. So just saying out there. But if you're in a place that where DHL still takes a long time, then I guess that's just how it is wherever you live. But yeah, for the US, it's gonna be like 3 days. So yeah. I think that's it, and I think it's already an hour or 15 minutes. Because I keep rambling and I say that I don't know what else to talk about, but then I can't shut the fuck up. So yeah, take another sip of your drink or whatever you're eating, or knit another row. Or whatever you're making, because why not? And I'll see you guys next week. Bye.